LAPD officers fired for chasing Snorlax in Pokemon Go instead of robbers. They should have been playing Pokemon Go Stop a Crime. Oh, shut up. Go fuck yourself. This is the one time where I think, like, firing of cops is unjustified. These cops actually did the right thing, in my view. 2 Los Angeles police officers were fired after they chose to chase a Snorlax in Pokemon Go instead of helping stop a robbery in progress at a local mall. As reported by... Yeah, that sounds like a better use of your time, honestly. Let's fucking let them rob the mall. Who cares? What are they, stealing some fucking purses from Louis Vuitton? Just let them go. What are you gonna do? You're gonna show up, start shooting bullets into the air, random people catching strays? That's a better use of your fucking time? Committing soft murders? As reported by Vice and detailed in court documents, former LAPD officers Luis Lozano and Eric Mitchell were on foot beat patrol on April 15, 2017, when a robbery at the Macy's in Crenshaw Mall was taking place. Crenshaw. Calls began going out to police in the vicinity to respond, and some, like a unit that was at a homicide crime scene, rushed over to the mall. You see, like, really, fucking a homicide crime scene? You're gonna ditch that to go fucking... These guys, these are the meatheads that are like, finally some action. I'm gonna let these bullets fly. You know, there's a guy that somebody has been murdered, you know, and they're just gonna abandon, like, a real crime to go fucking try to play Lethal Weapon at a mall. Lozano and Mitchell, on the other hand, ignored the call at first and then responded with a simple no when asked again. As it turns out, they willfully failed to respond to the robbery call and attempted to conceal that fact by saying they were somewhere other than where they actually were. After listening to the recording in Lozano and Mitchell's police car, the LAPD also discovered they were playing Pokemon Go on the day of the robbery. Nice. The recording showed that at approximately 6:09, just 5 minutes after Officer Lozano said screw it to checking in with the communications about the robbery call, Officer Mitchell alerted to Lozano that Snorlax just... Officer Mitchell alerted Lozano that Snorlax just popped up at 46th and Line Mart. Was that over the radio? Officer Lozano. Wait, hold on. It was Officer Mitchell. Alerted Lozano. Officer Lozano. Just letting you know there's a Snorlax at 46th and Line Mart. After noting that Line Mart doesn't go all the way to 46th, Lozano responded, "Oh, you know what I can do? I'll go down 11th and swing up Crenshaw. I know that way I can get to it." Mitchell suggested a different route, then told Lozano we got 4 minutes. Damn, these are some hardcore Pokemon heads over here. They've got, you know they've got all the rarest ones too. Like, if they're this dedicated, yeah, of course, they probably became beat cops so that they could get paid to play Pokemon Go. They're like, what other job is there where we can actually walk the streets and catch Pokemon and go to all of the areas we need to go to catch Pokemon and get paid for it? Beat cop. Beat cop. That's how you recruit. You see, LAPD is missing out something vital here. You could bolster your ranks with using Pokemon Go to advertise to people for being beat cops. Now, granted, they're probably not going to be the first to respond to a robbery at a Macy's, but really, I mean, what are you missing out on there? For approximately the next 20 minutes, the DICVS captured a petition. I don't know what that is. Captured petitioners discussing Pokemon as they drove to different locations where the virtual creatures apparently appeared on their mobile phones. On their way to the Snorlax location, Officer Mitchell alerted Officer Lozano that a Togetic just popped up, noting it was on Crenshaw just south of 50th. After Mitchell apparently caught the Snorlax, exclaiming, "Got him!" Petitioners agreed to go to the Togetic and drove off. After successfully catching the Togetic after Lozano buried it in ultra buried it in Ultra Ball. I think they mean bury, like bury, not buried, but bury. Buried it in Ultra Balled. Buried it in Ultra Balled it. They decided to return to a 7-Eleven to end their watch. Later, they would lie about playing the game and even said they were merely having a conversation about Pokemon Go and that they were capturing an image of the Pokemon on a tracking app. They were charged with multiple counts of on-duty misconduct and fired. Really? So that's the on-duty misconduct that's gonna get you fired? Fucking lacing innocent people up with bullets and fucking planting drugs on people and fucking beating the shit out of people with flashlights and steel batons and shit. Like having shootouts and chasing people down busy highways and fucking knocking cars off the road and all this other sort of crazy ass shit. None of that is fireable misconduct. But these motherfuckers playing Pokemon Go, like, deliberately ignoring some bullshit, like, that's the fireable offense. Not even a suspension, not even you're suspended without pay for 3 weeks or something. No, like, murderers get less than this. Jesus Christ. Like, these are the cops we need on duty. They were charged with multiple counts of fire and would later try to appeal their case by saying they weren't aware of their conversations would be recorded and that their words should be considered private. You know what? I guess maybe it's different. I guess maybe it's different if it's like a workplace sort of situation, which I really don't know. But I thought in California, it was illegal to record people's conversations without their consent. Huh. While this event may have taken place in 2017. Oh, this is old then. What the fuck? When was this article? Yeah, this article is... Yeah, posted January 10th. Did they not find out about it until now? While this event may have taken place in 2017, 2022 will soon see the release of Pokemon... Wait, is that the reason? Is that the reason they made this article? Really? You dug up this old ass... Okay, it was originally reported in Vice. Both officers tried to get reinstated by referencing a 1975 case in which an employee named Dr. Skelly, who regularly drank alcohol on the job and skipped shifts, was reinstated. But the LAPD argued that playing Pokemon Go and lying about it was far worse infraction. Really? Really? The far worse infraction? Really? Fucking drinking booze and not showing up to your job is more acceptable than these motherfuckers playing Pokemon and lying about it? The facts that Skelly showed that despite occasionally drinking 1 or 2 alcoholic beverages at lunch, not following department work hours, and having unexcused absences, Dr. Skelly's conduct did not affect the public service. Are you sure, motherfucker? Are you sure? Here, petitioners' untruthfulness directly affected their ability to testify in criminal cases. They misused their positions to engage in playing games while on duty and using... Oh, please, give me a fucking break. They misused their positions to engage in playing games while on duty and using public resources and ignored their official law enforcement duties, putting others in danger. Little else harms the public service more. Really? Little else harms the public service more? The motherfucker that's getting drunk and not showing up, that's not a harm to the public service? Considering... Okay, let's see what these links are. I'm sure that they brought their own fucking receipts to this one. Body camera video shows LAPD's fatal shooting a 14-year-old girl. What? Oh shit, this was a few days ago. Or weeks ago, rather. Police say Valentino Elena Paraletta was killed by a bullet fired at a man who was attacking women on the... See, look at this shit. Just fucking people, random people catching strays. Los Angeles police have released body camera footage of the chaotic incident that led to police fatally shooting an innocent teenage bystander at a North Hollywood store. That's what these motherfuckers want. Like, these dudes who did not show up to this fucking Macy's, like, calls began going out to the police in the vicinity in response and some, like a unit that was at a homicide crime scene, rushed over to the mall because they wanted to get on the action. They rushed to the mall from a fucking homicide scene so they could do their own homicide, basically. Like, that's why they did it. They wanted to get it. They wanted to draw their guns. They saw an opportunity to fucking pop some off and maybe get a legal kill. And even if it's an innocent person, like, I'm pretty sure this cop probably didn't face any repercussions. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. The body camera footage, along with store surveillance, shows suspect Daniel Elena Lopez, 24, attacking women before being shot dead by a police officer who also killed 14-year-old Valentina Orlena Perletta during the December 23rd encounter. Oh man, right before Christmas. Orlena Perletta was in a changing room behind Lopez, according to police, who say they believe she was killed by a bullet that skipped off the floor. Oh God, a ricochet. That entered the dressing room wall. According to the Washington Post, Orlena Perlata had been trying on dresses for a quinceañera. Oh God, could this get even sadder? Trying on dresses for a quinceañera with her mom when she was shot by police. Lopez, who was seen attacking several women at a Burlington clothing store in footage released Monday, was not carrying a firearm but a bike lock. Yeah, why did they shoot the fucking dude? Even if he was attacking, just fucking run up on him. Like, if ever there was a situation where you would use your fucking flashlight or whatever to beat the shit out of someone, this is it. This is where you use your flashlight to roll up on someone and beat the shit out of them. But I guess that's a little bit too fair of a fight. They needed to make sure that, the motherfucker was put down. I don't even want to watch that video. The shooting has sparked scrutiny and anger as to how often the LAPD used deadly force, with the Los Angeles Times reporting that police shootings increased this year after years of decline. Yeah, because motherfuckers just want to get fucking kills. They want to translate their Call of Duty playing experience to the streets. My commitment is to conduct a thorough, complete. You see, I'm pretty sure this cop is going to face no repercussions. No repercussions at all. The suspect approached the female from behind, struck her over the head with a bike lock. Said Spell in a video explaining the footage released by police. The suspect grabbed her, dragged her to the nearest dressing room, and continued to beat her with a lock. Meanwhile, body camera footage from the police officer who appears to have fired the fatal shot shows him pulling up to the Burlington parking lot, loading a rifle and entering the store. Really? You don't need to load a fucking rifle, dude. When he gets to the top of the escalator, he calls for other police. This is just police cowardice. Cops are the biggest fucking cowards in the world. And they think they're big and fucking brave, but only because they know that they could just go full Rambo at any moment and never have any legal repercussions. If these guys thought that they had to fucking square up with a guy, if they thought they had to square up with a motherfucker and, lock it down and, have to find a way to overpower him and, take him without taking their lives, they would never be cops. These people would never be cops. They don't have that bravery. They don't have that courage. They would never be cops if they had to actually square up against these dudes. Let me take point with a rifle. Take point with a fucking... What do they use in England? In England, they have, little straps? They have straps that they use to, if somebody's, attacking someone with a knife, they're trained in ways to use the strap to, capture their hand and disarm them and shit. That wasn't a fever dream, was it? I'm pretty sure I saw some shit like that.
From the UK, an amazing video for edged weapon training. London police engage with a distraught
that dude has a
man
fucking machete.
Not scissors or a knife, but a machete, all captured on a smartphone from across the street.
His ability to move is not completely obstructed by either the officers or by the vehicles, but he is more or less surrounded. You can see the man pacing around on the street or moving forwards and backwards.
How many bullets would this dude have been laced with, with reckless abandon, by this time. Like, he's already swung the machete around. He's walked, I think he's circled the cop car several times. Like, if this was America, like, how laced up would this dude be in bullets at this point?
Back, each of them trying to continue to verbally de-escalate the situation over a period of time. You could probably say they've contained him without restraining him. And they keep this situation going backwards and forwards for some minutes whilst other officers are bringing what we would call public order shields to the location. And in a coordinated movement, they move towards him so that there's no way he's going to be able to use
Okay. Okay, that is a fuck ton. That is a fuck ton of cops with shields. You know? Okay, so they play the swarm mentality. It's swarm mentality. So they don't have a gun, so they aren't gonna lace them up. Well, they do have guns, I think, but they aren't gonna lace them up with bullets. Their training does not dictate that their first order of action is to just let bullets fly and let randos catch strays. But all of these cops for one guy with a machete, then they all have shields. I mean, so I'm pretty sure they probably managed to take this dude without any serious injuries to anyone. But, yeah, look at this police budget here. Is this a viable alternative? I don't know about that, but hey, you know what? No innocent person caught astray.
the weapons taken from him.
Do you think that man would have survived in North America?
No, he wouldn't have survived.
Of course not.
Wouldn't have survived. A couple of minutes, probably.
Yeah.
So what's to be learned from that?
Don't be a murderous asshole. Pepper spray and batons. Look at that. He's literally got a knife and he's like wielding it. And look at these, like, this is bravery. Like, what these cops here are dealing with, that's actual bravery. That's true bravery. And they're talking about, I'm not going to show it, but they're talking about similar knife wielders. Here's how a officer dealing with a man with a blade last week. Yeah, they shot him. They shot him. And in New York City, they shot him. They just shot all these guys. They just fucking putting bullet holes in everybody because they're not brave. They're not brave people. Like, they're the most cowardly of cowards. And it shows. And they're the worst kind of cowards, too. They're the cowards that think that they're the cowards that think they aren't cowards because they have guns. And then they're the people that look for opportunities to prove to themselves that they aren't cowards. So they abandon homicide scenes where they could actually, like, do a modicum of good, by securing a crime scene and investigating it and, like, shoring it up for the detectives to do their work. And they just abandon that so they can go rush over to a mall so they can prove that they aren't cowards with their guns. And then, in the meantime, people catch strays. Let me take point with the rifle. Paid leave. The officer who shot the fatal shot is on paid leave. Yeah, uh-huh. He'll be back on the job. She died in my arms and there was nothing I could do, said the teen's mother, Soledad Perletta, speaking through an attorney, Erica Contreras, who acted as a translator. To see a son or daughter die in your arms is one of the greatest pains and most profound pains that any human can imagine. In a statement read by the family's lawyer, civic rights attorney Ben Crump, Perletta said that she was in a changing room with her daughter when she left an explosion that sent them both to the ground. She heard her daughter started having convulsions and then didn't wake up. Oh my God. The police did not come to help me or my daughter, but I kept screaming because they're not there to help, dude. The police are not there to help. They are just a ravaging band of murderers that are there to do crimes, do murders. They're just there to do legal murders wherever they think a legal murder can be done. They took me out of the dressing room and left my daughter laying there. Orleana Perletta's father, Juan Pablo Orleana Lorena, said he'd been planning to come to LA from Chile to spend Christmas with his daughter. The pair had planned to watch a Lakers game together, he said, adding that his daughter had great dreams of being an American citizen. Well, she got her American citizenship in the most American way possible, catching a stray from LAPD. He held up a skateboard. He held up a skateboard Oleta Perlada had purchased for Christmas. People have to take it to the grave so she could skate with the angels. Jeez. Trump said he will explain the type of justice the family is seeking in the coming days. What the fuck, dude? LAPD chief just became the ugly American in France. What does that mean? 2 Los Angeles police officers made wrongful arrest about 5,700 miles outside of their jurisdiction. Whoa, wait a second. Are these motherfuckers trying to arrest people in France? 2 Los Angeles Police Department officers just caused an international incident by making a wrongful arrest in France. It happened in Marseille. I need to learn how to pronounce these words properly, especially since I want to pick up learning French again. Where LAPD Chief Michael Moore and Assistant Chief Robert Marino were walking the streets after dinner with their wives, along with 2 LAPD officers and security detail. What? What the fuck was going on in France, in Marseille, where you had 2 chiefs with 2 LAPD chiefs and fucking security details? On November 17, around 11 p.m. local time, Moore, Marino, their wives, the security detail, and members of the French National Police left a restaurant, according to the police. A man walking down the street with a group bumped into Marino's wife, who then accused him of stealing her cell phone. The security team chased after the man and arrested him, but they and local authorities quickly realized the man hadn't taken a thing from the commander's wife, according to the French police. And now the department is opening an investigation into a wrongful stop, which took place more than 5,700 miles outside the jurisdiction. Wait a second. Okay. Wait. So they were with. They said they were with members of the French National Police, but it wasn't the French National Police that chased the guy down. It was the security team that chased the guy down. What is the security team? That's what I'm curious about. The incident prompted an internal investigation, and the names of the LAPD officers involved are being withheld. Of course they are. Moore and Marino were in France as part of a week-long trip that had been organized so the top cops could meet with French law enforcement officials to discuss security plans. Oh, okay. Discuss security plans for both the 2024 Summer Olympic Games in France and the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. Okay, so that was just an excuse. This was used as an excuse to get these cops a nice little vacation in France. That couldn't be a Zoom meeting? Yeah, that was just a way to go to France. Okay, I mean, I can't really... I can't blame him for that. If I had the opportunity to do the same, I would do the same. I probably wouldn't start arresting motherfuckers while I was there, but I would do the same. The arrest led the man who was detained and others who were walking with him to file a complaint with French authorities. Those complaints were then reported to the U.S. consulate. Moore called the debacle an unfortunate incident and apologized to local... Damn, dude, even like... You just get a little droplet of LAPD and you put it anywhere in the world, just put a little droplet of LAPD in France, and boom, they're already getting a taste of the American experience, man. Just getting fucking pummeled, chased down and pummeled to the ground for no real reason at all. Just a fucking ruthless stop and frisk on the streets of Marseille. What are you doing? I have no cell phone on me! I don't know why I did the Italian thing. Let's see. When law enforcement, police officers don't generally have the authority to make arrests outside their own jurisdiction, let alone in other countries. When law enforcement officials leave the country, they don't have any authority, even in other states. Brian Higgins, professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York, told Vice News, they were outside their jurisdiction. They don't have any authority. They don't have authority, and they were completely wrong. Higgins said the encounter could have become an international incident. I would have been a lot more sure of the allegations before you made an action, he said. Even if it was in the U.S., you should have been more sure. Even if? What are you talking about, even if? If he was in the U.S., he would have shot that dude. As soon as that guy started running, they would have popped him. They would have dropped him to the ground, and they would have planted that woman's cell phone on him once they realized he didn't have it. Like, oh, it was in your back pocket all along. Yeah, just put it on him. LAPD. But to do it when you're in another country during what we call diplomatic efforts is obviously embarrassing. God, dude, yeah, these are the guys. And yet, and yet, the motherfuckers that didn't want to rush over to get a free kill at a Macy's, they're the ones that got fired immediately. Not paid suspension, not, unpaid suspension. Just fired immediately. And then said that they were worse, told them that they were worse than the motherfucker that was regularly drunk on the job and skipping shifts, who was reinstated, by the way. Fuck these guys. Cops arrested a black man taking out his garbage while looking for a white suspect. Yo, you're looking for the people upstairs, bro. The man, a music producer known as Tone Stacks, told the officers. Police arrested a black man outside his Hollywood home because he was probably a domestic violence... What does that even mean, probably? He was probably a domestic violence suspect. You know how those blacks are. He probably slapped someone. Even though he repeatedly told the officers they had the wrong guy. In the May 2019 exchange caught on body camera footage released last week, April 2021, at least last week, Los Angeles police officers responding to domestic violence call confronted Antone Austin while he was taking out his garbage. They had no physical description of the suspect, so they approached Austin, a music producer known professionally as Tone Stacks, because, as one cop said in the footage, "I don't know who I'm looking for yet." Cool. Well, the cops have been accused of racial profiling and civil rights lawsuit over the encounter. It is racial profiling. They had no description of the suspect, a completely blank slate. So what was the call? Was the call just that, was it like a house call where someone was like, yeah, I think someone's beating their spouse. And they just showed up? Did they not know where the number was being called from? They literally saw the first black man and they arrested him. Austin's neighbor had called... Okay, yeah, I guess I could always read a little further to figure it out. Austin's neighbor had called 911 about her ex-boyfriend, spurring the police response. Okay. The actual suspect, a white man, escaped during Austin's arrest. Of course. Fucking useless ass cops, dude. Yo, you're looking for the people upstairs, bro, Austin told the officers at one point, according to the body camera footage. Throughout the confrontation, Austin can be heard repeatedly telling them they have the wrong person. The caller who made the initial complaint also allegedly told the cops he wasn't the perpetrator, according to NBC News. Officers themselves weren't entirely confident Austin was the man in question, with one officer responding probably when asked by a colleague whether Austin might be the dude, according to the body camera footage. Cops tried to handcuff Austin shortly after the exchange about whether he was the right suspect, putting up against the wall as he screamed for help. One officer asked, "What is your problem, dude? What is your problem? What the fuck, dude? What a dumbass..." Oh, Jesus God, these fucking cops. Austin's girlfriend, Michelle Michalwicz, came to his aid and tried to intervene while wearing a bathrobe that at times came undone, leaving her naked before the officers. Oh, that was a weird detail to add there. She demanded to know what was happening and why the officers were detaining him, according to the body camera footage. She was later pushed to the ground. Jesus, according to the Times, she can be heard screaming, "You have the wrong guy," in the body camera footage. Both Austin and Michalwicz were eventually arrested. According to NBC News, Austin was taken into custody on charges of felony resisting arrest. What the fuck is that, dude? You arrest the wrong guy, and when he's like, no, you're like, oh, well, this is a felony resisting arrest and assault of a police officer. Jesus Christ. While the two were in custody, also allegedly laughed while reviewing the body camera footage from the incidents, which shows Michalwicz... Oh, god damn. These guys are just fucking hardcore orcs. These are just straight up orcs. While neither person has been prosecuted, the charges still haven't been dropped. Fucking charges. When different officers returned to the neighborhood about a week after the first incident to respond to a woman calling to enforce her restraining order against the white man, the cops treated Austin more professionally, he told NBC News. Los Angeles City's attorney's office had sought to keep the body camera footage from the initial private. Of course they did. Of course they wanted to keep it private. argue would interfere with the officers' no, fuck them. Fuck officers' expectations of privacy. Fuck them. They're public servants. They have no privacy when they're on the clock. And cause risk to both. Fuck them. Yeah, their families should be at fucking risk when they're going around acting like goddamn marauding orcs, dude. Like, fucking treat people properly and then you won't have to worry about the fucking risk. According to KNBC, a local NBC affiliate, but a federal magistrate ordered that it be made public last week, according to Los Angeles Times. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude! It should automatically be made public. All body cam footage should just fucking. All body cam footage should just go to a fucking Twitch stream. It should always be broadcast. The instance that camera button is turned on, it should auto broadcast to a fucking Twitch channel or some shit. And just always be live. And the VODs just always be accessible. That should be the law. No more of this waiting for a judge to fucking release shit. Austin's attorney and the Los Angeles Police Department did not respond. I mean, what happened to the cops, man? Like, obviously they weren't fired or anything, but they should have had some kind of a reprimand. Especially after fucking watching the body camera footage of that woman in her bathrobe and making jokes and shit. No, but it's these motherfuckers who are playing Pokemon Go. These are the guys whose behavior can't be tolerated. They have to be fired immediately. Jesus Christ, dude. You wonder why Chris Dorner is a folk hero in LA.